Thank you, Odu. Let me share my screen. So I believe right now, we should have a 70% members that have installed the application. But for the case of those that are yet to have the installation, so confirm you can see my screen. Yes, mostly from the group chats. We can see that some were able to download, but the process of opening the Jupyter Notebook is stressful. But I recommend anybody that's having issues to please come back to this document. So make sure you have Python installed. Just by clicking on this link, you can get Python installed on your system, either for Windows or MacBook users. Also, after getting Python installed, another important software that's needed for this class is Anaconda. So also using this link, you can easily download Anaconda. I've installed the software, so that's why I'm not clicking on it. So if you are Windows users, you should have this interface you can download for this. If you are Mac users, then use this second interface here for Mac. All right. The process of after downloading and installing, the process of opening the Jupyter Notebook, we'll practice that in class today. So we're starting from there. So once you have Anaconda installed on your system, to open the software, you just need to, for Windows users, just go to Start menu and click on Search button to search for app. So I will be searching for Anaconda Air. So I have it here. Just search for Anaconda Navigator. Click. Yes, I have it here. Also, another challenges that I see most people are facing is that instead of opening notebook, some are opening Jupyter Lab. They are different. So mostly for this class, I will need us to be opening this Jupyter Notebook. I wish I can circle it here, but I circled it on the document. Yeah, I think yes. Please, let's follow these guidelines when we're having issues with opening or using Jupyter Notebook. After opening Anaconda Navigator, please, instead of Jupyter Lab, we are using Jupyter Notebook. Please take notes. Jupyter Notebook. So I'll go back. I'll not click on this. So just by clicking launch, the software is very easy to use. That's why we recommend to use that. After clicking on launch, I'll wait for a few seconds for me to have the web link. Okay. Here it is. So after having this interface, I think this is the first step. The next step is to be able to create a notebook. Also, I see some issues some people are facing is that they are not clicking on this Python 3 kernel. So to create a new file, it's important you use this Python 3 kernel. So, but another thing I want us to take note is that we should have a proper folder structure for our work. So last week, we demonstrated how to create a new folder. So I'll do that again today. So here we have Python 3 kernel, but we first need a working folder. So create a folder. So after creating folder, we need to find a folder named untitled folder. Here it is. After doing that, we check this box and then go back to the top. Going back to the top, we want to rename that file from untitled folder, maybe to a customized name that we can easily find on our system. So I will say Python basics. Yeah, this is my folder name. Then the next step now is for me to find that folder, then navigate to it. Here it is, Python basics. So clicking on this folder, I will see that it's empty at the moment because I don't have any file in it. So this is what I want everyone to do on their system. Let's have a clean folder for working. So from here, can create a new Python 3 file. Yes, then we can start working. Please, if there's need for me to go back, you can drop a chat. Also, for people who are still now having issues with using Jupyter Notebook, I would recommend Google Colab. So Google Colab is it's an online version of Jupyter Notebook that we are using now. Just that you will need internet for you to have access to Google Colab. But I really want everybody to follow along in this class because after getting this software, I see the other process as something that's very easy to catch along. So getting this software is quite difficult, right? But it's really worth it. So to use Google Colab, very easy. Just go to your web browser and then search for Google Collaboratory. Um, Google Collaboratory, as the way I searched it here, just search. So from the response, I can see welcome to Colab. This first link is what we are going to use. But whenever you want to use it, please confirm you have this URL, collab.research.google.com. Please confirm that. So we have something like this because I have some file opened. Come on. So let's say I want to open a recent file, samples. Yes, these are my files. Upload. If you have a Jupyter Notebook we wish to upload, you can upload it here. But this is just it for people who are having difficulty to get the software. So please, you can use Google Colab. But for this class, we'll be using Jupyter Notebook. Let me open a sample for us to see. Here. File. New notebook. Yes, here it is. It's the same version of the Jupyter Notebook that we are using, just that the only difference here is that this is online. You need internet for you to have access to it. For this, you don't need to install any software. Just start using it. All right, thanks. We'll move on to Jupyter Notebook. In our last class, we have a few introduction to, let me check. I think there are some message on chat. Maybe I can quickly attend to some. Yes, the Jupyter Notebook works offline. Yes. All right, I think we can proceed. Also, in our last class, we explained how this interface works. For today's class, we'll do revision on, let's say, file. We want to create a new notebook. We want to open an existing notebook. We want to save. Also, we can download our work as PDF or .py. Also, to edit and use the cell. The most important button on this notebook is this run button here. Also, to create a markdown, last week we explained what markdown is. Markdown is just for us to be able to like create a documentation for our code. It's not a code, just like a text to describe what each code is doing, each code cell. So I'll do that again today, create a markdown. Then I want the text to be bigger. I can just create Python text. So after creating a markdown, here we have code, we have markdown. By default, it's code. So, but if you want to create a markdown, what you need to do is change this code to markdown. So after doing that, I can click run. Yes, I have it as a text. I wish to change this. I want it bigger. Put hash in front. Yes. For today's class, let me open our work. Yeah. We'll start with variables and basic rules in Python. So one of the basic rules in Python is that we use indentation very much in Python, but we'll still get to that point. I'll explain better. And creating variables, using the variables in our work. And then we need to talk about what are the variable naming conventions in Python. We would also talk about data type today. We will also talk about if statements and for loop also today. So let's start with data type and variable names. So in Python, right, when naming a variables, we created some instructions when creating a variable. So variable in Python can have, what's variable? Let me quickly explain. So variables in Python is like a text we created for us to use. It has a memory allocation, so whereby at any point in our code, we can reference this variable name. See it as we giving birth to a newborn baby. So at that point, we'll be referring to that baby as maybe it's a baby, not until when we actually give this baby a name, let's say James. So whenever I want to call this baby now, we'll be using James to reference this baby. So it's the same with creating a variable in Python. That variable is like a name that we are using to access that particular item. So let's say I have 10. I want to give 10 a particular name. So I can just say x is equals to 10. So here, x is the variable name. Then this 10 is an integer. It's a data that I'm assigning to this x. So at any point in my code, if I should say x, the system already recognizes x as 10. So let me run this. Then I come here, I say x. Let's see how variable names work. Here, okay, see, the system already recognizes x as 10, being that we have a variable name and we've assigned it a value of 10. So anywhere in our code, right, this x will be representing 10. Also, we have different data type. We have integer data type and string data type. So for the basics, we'll stick with these two, and then later we'll explain some other data types that we have. Okay. So let's quickly go through this variable naming convention. So the way I did x is equals to 10, there are rules we need to follow while giving this a name. X is equals to 10. I can say, for example, let's say sum is equals to 10. Even we can see here it's green. This it's green. With that, I can easily identify that there's a problem. So let me change it back to X. X is black. It's accepted. So there are rules that guide this in Python. So firstly, it says a variable name must begin with a letter or an underscore. A letter are English alphabets, let's say from A to Z. If you check, the X we created now meets that condition. Also, it cannot begin with a number, right? When we give birth to a baby, we want to give it a name. I think there is no rules that say, okay, you can't give this baby this particular name, but it's not so in Python, right? I can't say, I want to give my baby name, let's say 2x. Let me run this and see. Because 2 is a number, and from the rules, it says a variable cannot begin with a number. Let's see. Yeah, we get an error. So whenever I want to create a variable, you can just go through this and read the instruction. The third one says a variable name can only include letters, numbers, and underscores. We have some other signs, let's say $sign, percentage sign, and others. So what this item is saying is that a variable name cannot include those words. So it says it can only include letters, numbers, and underscore. And the fourth item on the list is says variable names are case sensitive. So let's say we created the variable a. Let me change, okay, run. I don't really like seeing errors. So let me insert cell below. I say x is equals to 10. So let me check x. So here, x equals to 10, right? And we print x. It says x is 10. So let's try something like this. Name x is not defined, which explains this fourth item. It says variable names are case sensitive, right? So if you have a variable name age, all in lowercase, another variable name age, which starts with capital letter, and another variable name age, which all in uppercase. They are different. I think that's quite straightforward. So if we need x, we need to reassign it. Let's say x equals to 5. Then this is another variable. Then I can say x. In Python, when we're writing codes, there is a very important aspect I also need to explain. It's called comments. Whenever we are writing codes, we want to like put comments beside our codes. What comment is doing is that it's trying to explain the code also. It's quite different from Markdown because comments, we use comments easily. I can say, I can come here and say, hash. This is a comment in Python. Let's say, stop. I'm assigning x. So this code will run without generating any error, but this is a comment. What it's doing is that it's explaining what this piece of code is doing. So to write a comment in Python, you just put hash, then we write the text. Let me do that here again. Hash, this is comment. So this how to create comment in Python. I just quickly want to mention this for us. So we might be using it, so it won't be strange. Insert cell below. Let me create a markdown. Markdown. So to create a markdown, we change this code to markdown, then write our text. Maybe it's optional though. If you want it to be bigger, you can put hash in front of the text. Then run. We've explained integer, then we have string data type. The way we assigned x to 10, so we have string also. This integer data type. Let me put a markdown. Start cell above. So I'll change this to markdown. So we have string data type. String data type are in Python, they are identified by, let's say, single quotes or double quotes. Most times they are English alphabets. Let's say games. If I should write something like this in Python, the system cannot understand this games. Not the way we did for not the same way we did for integer data type, that we just give the data a variable name. If we are working with strings, we need to add double quotes or single quotes. Either of the two works fine. So again, I'll just say y equals to James. So now, y is the variable name. James is the data I'm assigning to Y, and this is a string data type in Python. Let me say, yeah. So I can just come here and say, okay, I want to see the value for Y. Here it says James. So again, let me go back to explain string. String data type in Python. For you to define a string data type in Python, you need to put the string inside a single quote or double quote. Once you put any text inside a single quote or double quote, the systems automatically identify this data as a string data in Python. So then I think there are some basic operations we can do on integer data type and string data type. Let me come in, start cell above. So what we want to do here now is I want to quickly explain some basic operation we can do with Python using integer data type. Integer data type, again, there are numbers, regular numbers. It can also be, okay, we have floats, but let me quickly explain. Float is also a numeric data, but it has a decimal point like this. Let's say we are dealing with weight data and it has 10.3, like now in maybe kilograms. This is a numeric data, but it's floats. So let's say F is equals to 10.3. Then we can easily print this F out and see the value. Sorry, I've forgotten to run this. Yes. So float data type. Let me copy this. I'll change this code to Markdown. Then floats. Please give me a few seconds. I'll back. Sorry, thanks. So this float data type, they looks like integer, but just that the difference is that float data, right? They have decimal points. Let's say we are dealing with where we have 0.5 points, anything relating to having decimal value in our numeric value, and that's floats. So that's bring us to now doing some basic arithmetic operations in Python. So this is supposed to be a markdown. So we are slowly getting to business. if there is any question, you can quickly drop it now while we go through it. I don't think there is.
You can raise your hand if there is a question. There is no, someone said that, can you hear me, Mujib? Mujib, can you hear
Yes.
me? Yeah, so
Yes, I can
someone
hear
said that the
you.
command is not, yeah. So someone said the command is not running. What is the
I think
name?
they should probably go back to create the file.
So there's a
Also,
question actually. Okay, continue, Mujib. Finish with what you're trying.
I can say a question like, what's the function of markdown? So markdown is like we are trying to create a document. So if we are not, I'm not sure you seeing this. If I should give someone my notebook A, they can be able to like read the document, and the instruction is there to guide anybody that's going through these documents. So, right, Markdown, the purpose of Markdown is just to have a structured document with clear header. Yes, thank you. You can think of it as a comment, just that it's more like descriptive of what we are trying to do, being that it serves as like an header for a section on our document. So I'll proceed with, so the basic arithmetic operations in Python is just the same way we have basic arithmetic operation in, let's say, our daily activities or in our mathematics classes, where we have addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, and all. So the same way we are doing it on our calculator, in our mathematics, in our notebook, the same way we are doing it in Python, exact same way. So let's try with addition. Let's say, but I will use variables. I'm assigning x to 10 again, just for the sake of this. So, and y to 5. So addition, I'll be putting a comment. To put a comment, right, just type hash document, then the text. So to add x and y here, normally in mathematics, we'll say x plus y. In our basic mathematics, it's same way in Python. So let's say x plus y. Let's see. It says type L. We are yet to define x and y. So I will run this. Try again.
Sorry, Mujib, can you be slower? Can you go slower? Someone is complaining about the network or something. Can you just move a little bit slower?
All right.
Thank you. Yeah.
So going through this again, we are talking about basic arithmetic operations in Python, and I explained that it's basically what we do in our daily activities, what we do on our calculators, in our mathematics. The same way, nothing changes, nothing is different. So to do that, we created a variable x and y, then we assigned them a value of 10 and 5, the same way we did at the top here. So after assigning the variable, we run the cell. Then in our mathematics, if we are to add two numbers, right, we just say 5 plus 10. Right now, our x is 10, y is 5. So when I perform this operation, it gives me 15. Also, let's work on subtraction. In basic mathematics, also, if you are to subtract two numbers, what we just need to do is, okay, A minus B. Same way in Python. Our variable here is X and Y. So what we just need to do is to say X minus Y. Then we get output. Multiplication. If I'm to multiply on my calculator, normally I will use times, right? So in Python, we use this star, not X, not X like on keyboard. Let me try it. X, okay. And I say, okay, Y, X and Y, right? Let's say I want to times. I think there is a sign like this X, it looks like times. Normally, if I'm writing down like on a notebook, this looks like times. But please don't make this mistake, right? It's not this. It's this star that we have on our keyboard. That's the multiplication sign, asterisk, thanks. So for division, it's also pretty straightforward. So let me say slash. All right, these are our basic mathematical operations, right? Same way we have it in our mathematics classes, same way it's being performed in Python. So I'll move on to string data. So I have variable name y. Let me say z is equals to Mujib. I would like to change this. First name, James. Last name. Some basics operation we can do on string is we can decide to add two strings together. To do that, just basic plus sign will concatenate two strings together for us. Another operation we can easily do on string data is we can change the casing. Let's say it's in lowercase, we can change it to uppercase, we can change it to maybe title and the rest like that. So the basic operation I want to do now, right, is I have my first name here, I have my last name, and I want to print it to a user. Okay, this is your name. So to do that in Python, this is a variable name. The same way we have X, the same way we have this first name, it's a variable name. We assigned it to a value of James. So let's see, first name. Name error. Okay, let me run this. Yeah. So I know first name is James. So to add this last name, what I just need to do is include addition sign, then the name. Just copy this, then paste. Yes, we have our first name and last name concatenated together. The system does not understand that it needs to add a space between these two strings. What we need to do is just create imaginary empty space, then add plus sign. So now I'm doing two operations. Instead of just adding first name and last name, now I'm adding first name, imaginary empty space, then last name. So here I have the outputs. Full name, James Mujib. So let's say from the input I'm getting, this Mujib is coming this way, and this James is also coming can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. I have these outputs, right? I can reassign this first name and last name to, let's say, my name. Now I'm saying my name is equals to first name, add it, imaginary empty space, and last name. Yeah. So let's see my name. Yes. Then I have a string data, my name, to be addition of first name, imaginary empty space, and then last name. So I assigned it to a variable, my name. So this in Python, I can check the type of a data. To check the type of a data, it's easy in Python. Just type and then put the variable in brackets. So let's see. The system is telling me that this str in Python means string data. So then I can come here and say, I can perform some string operations on it. Since I've confirmed it's a string data, I can say my name dots. Let me print my name again at the top here. From here, I don't like this output. It's kind of unstructured. So some basic string operation is we can, as I said before, we can change the casing of this string. Maybe I want to change it to uppercase, or I want only the first alphabet of each word to be in uppercase. Then I can say dot title in Python. this is a function. So it will be inside. I'll put a bracket after it. So let's see. All right. So now I'm okay with the response now because it's now coming in a structured format, not like before that I have small j, big M, small m. Here it's more structured. So we have other string operations like let's say now I want my this thing to be all in uppercase. Same way we have for uppercase, then we have dot lower paste. Dot lower will take the inputs and then convert everything to lowercase. Dot upper will take the inputs, then converts every text to uppercase. The title format, it will check the text and every first letter of each word will be changed to uppercase. So let's quickly do a revision of what we've done so far. Uh, we explained how we can assign data to a variable name. And then before that, we explained how to create a variable in Python. We show also some guidelines to create a variable. We said it should not begin with a number. It should not contain some symbols. Like it should only be letters and numbers, like combination. Also, then we move on to different data types in Python. For now, we've done for integer data type, for float data type, and then we move on to basic operations in Python, where we can easily take two numbers together, add them, subtract, multiply, or do division operation on it. Also, we talked about working with string data type. As someone who works with data a lot, we can run from working with string data type. So the reason why we should need to also take note of it while learning the basics. I'm trying to give us a few minutes break before we move on. And if there is any question, we can quickly drop it before we move on to something else.
Sorry, okay, Chuku, are you still having any issue? Hi, okay, Chuku. Please, if there is no question, just drop your hand, please. With glory. Yeah.
So
If there are
in this
questions, do you
class,
want to take a question?
let me just
Mujib, do you want to answer some questions?
can you read them out?
Okay. So are the string names in the curve brackets? I don't read that question is not fairly straightforward. So please the question should just be related to uh what we're actually learning, which is the data types that we have. What type of bracket? Yeah, that is not a bracket, it's just like a string. You are trying to concatenate two different string variables together. So it's just a normal, okay. Sorry, Sean, can you just structure your question clearly for me to communicate to Mujib to resolve for you? Thank you. So Mujib, I think we can continue for now. But if you have any question, just type it for now. So, yeah, thanks.
All right. I think there is a question about which
Yeah,
type of
but
brackets
yeah,
is that.
you
So
said
it's
we
just
have
our
many
normal,
types of. Yeah, go ahead,
currently, the
Mujib.
one we used so far is just our normal bracket. Um, I think Control 8 on Windows. So yeah, something like this. Let me make it a back down and make it bigger. Yeah. So yeah, let me quickly explain if condition in Python. So if condition is being used when we are trying to compare, like making comparison, like out when you want to check it's something true. Let's say someone tell me that it's raining outside. I can decide to maybe accept, or I can decide to go out and then confirm to check, like, is it raining? Yes or no? Then I'm trying to like confirm, make a condition and check if the condition is true or not. Yes, we are trying to check if a condition is either true or not. Yes, let me quickly create. Let's say x is equals to 10. This x is equals to 10. Someone told us x equals to 10. So creating if condition in Python, this is syntax. You write if as it is here on this text. Let me run this. It's a markdown. Oh no, I don't want this. I mean, I'll just leave it like this. So write the if condition, the statement. The statement is what we want to check. Then at the end, we put a colon. This is a syntax. Let me put quotation here so we know it's not hard-coded. So we write if, the statement, and then a colon. Let me put it here. Write if, comma, the statement. We are trying to validate if it's true or false. The statement, then colon. If, the statement, then colon. So if I'm to write if condition A, it's simply if the condition I'm trying to check is that I'm trying to check if x is equals to 10. Then from the syntax here, I say we write if, the statement, then colon. So end it with colon. This is statement. If the statement, let me copy this. The statements into brackets, something like this. Then colon. So let me put it here, colon. So automatically, after putting this colon, if I should press enter, the code will not start from here again. At the extreme left, there will be little indentation. When we start today's class, I was mentioning about indentation in Python. It's very important, right? So when we are inside the condition, then we must follow the indentation of that condition until when we want to move out of that condition. So let's say I want to just check if x is equal to 10, then print yes. This is just the syntax for writing if statement in Python. What I'm doing here is that I'm checking a condition. Is x equals to 10? We are trying to check if the condition is true or false. So if x is equals to 10, then the system should print yes. So let's see. X equals to 10. Syntax error. Okay. We were using assignment operator before. Change this. Okay. That brings us to explaining start syllable. Comparative operators in Python. So when we are trying to compare, the sign we will use is different from when we are trying to assign a variable. So let's make this a markdown. So basic comparative operators in Python, we have double equals to, we have not equals to, we have this.
Sorry, Mujib, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, please, before you proceed with comparative operators, can you just emphasize on some things so that the audience can actually follow through? So I think they are quite confused about some things that are outlined there by doctor. So let me just read them out so that you can clarify them for that. So the first one is why variable names must be unique. So if you can clarify them. Why variable names must be unique? Can you hear me? Muji?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So the first thing you have to clarify is that why a variable name must be unique.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't think I've mentioned that before, but yes, it's true. A variable name must be unique in terms that when we are explaining variable name, we say we give birth to a baby and we give it a name. So that name will be used to reference this baby. I think we made example of James as our baby name. Let's say we now give birth to another baby. Then we now name that baby also James. So it's possible for variable name not to be unique, but it will be creating problems. Let's say I want to call the first James. If I should say James, then two people will be coming. So for easy referencing in our code, it's important for our variables to be unique. Like if I should
Okay.
give the second child a variable name Joy, then it will be easy for me to say, okay, Joy, come. I'll be expecting only Joy to come. Compared to when I say, okay, both of you, James, it will be difficult to identify or like reference the variables. So that's just the basic explanation behind that.
Okay. Thank
Is
you
there
so
any other
much.
question?
Then the second, yes, yes, yes. So you just have to explain to the audience again the difference between comment and a string. Yeah. How do you declare how do you declare comments? I think people are still confused with the hash and how you declare a string. Do you get that?
Yes.
Okay. Can you elaborate on that too?
So when writing code in Jupyter Notebook, especially, my explanation will be based for Jupyter Notebook. Firstly, let me talk about Markdown. Markdown is basically used to like create an header for a document. Let's say I'm writing an assignment. I have 4 questions. At the beginning of the first question, I want to say, okay, question 1, then answer that question. After that, I want to put another header that says question 2. So it will be easy for me when I'm trying to submit. Whoever is trying to read these documents, we know, okay, question 1 starts from here and it stops here. In relation to me just having every content of these documents all together without a clear distinction between each questions. So what Markdown is doing is that it's creating a header for our documents. And it's pretty good, right? Me saying this, if I should run, I can, okay, working with integer data type. It's just like a text, not compulsory. It's not like mandatory for you to have, but just to have a clear document. The other question is comments in Python and how to create comments. So comment in Python is basically for us to explain codes or maybe have some notes on our code. And to do that in Python, right, what we just need to do is type hash, then space, then we continue our, let's anything, let's say, I want to say I'm working on Python. This I'm working on Python. I'm the one that defined it. Is the text I want to put at that place. I can decide to change it. So after this, I can start to write my code. Let's say I want to do 2 plus 2. The system will not read this. It's basically for the developer to understand what is writing and maybe have a clear note on the code. And again, to comment in Python, make sure you put hash, then write the comments. And there's a shortcut on a system you can use. If it's Windows, I think Control and slash will comment out the word. Let's say I have this. Go to the extreme left of the text, right? My cursor is here, right? Pressing Control and slash will comment this out. Yeah. If it's Mac, I think it's Command and slash. If it's system, it's Windows, it's Control slash for you to comment out. So if I should run this, nothing is happening. It's just a comment. So just for easy readability. Is there any other question, Odun?
Yeah, thank you, Mujib, for the clarification. And so the last one is just to actually illustrate why okay, it's about data conversion where arithmetic operations due to float. Like when you were teaching us on the division, right? So when you run the code, it's not like 2.0, right? And you use 10 divided by 5. So how does that conversion actually take place? Why was the result actually float? So yeah, so that's just the question. The arithmetic conversion that happens.
I think
Do you
it's
understand the question?
I think this the point is trying to be faster.
Yes, yes, yes.
So in Python, dividing two integers will give a float value. Here, it will be easy for Python. Let's say now it's 10 divided by, let's say it's now 10 divided by 3. 10 divided by 3 will not give us a integer value. So now it's very easy for Python to let me run this. Okay, now I can't be, if I should divide 10 by 3, I can't be expecting a value like 4, 5, 6. It will be definitely a decimal value. So in Python, right, if we should divide two integer, by default, the response will be in float value. So let me try this now. X divided by 5. Yes. So regardless if we have integer response, Python will convert it to float if it's division. So it's now left to you to say, okay, this results, let me change it back. If you actually need integer value of this, so by just putting int, which stands for integer in Python, and then wrapping it inside the brackets like this. Now I'm saying that the value I'm expecting here should be integer. So by default, if we should divide two integer values in Python, the response is in float. Please, is there any other question?
So yeah, what if you don't want float as is there a way to convert it?
Yes. So
Okay.
again, the simple way to convert it is take that text and then wrap it inside integer data type. Let me try that again for those that teach. So I have this, right? 10 divided by 5. By default, Python will convert it to float. So now I need my outputs. I need it to be in integer. So what I will do is wrap the statement inside integer data type. So instead of having 2.0, now I'll be having integer value of 2. So that's the way you can convert it to integer. Any other question?
Yeah, for now, let's continue with yeah. Thank you.
So back to explaining if statements. I think we stopped at examples of comparative. So example of comparative operators in Python. Let's say I want to compare x, is it equals to 10? I'm trying to explain the difference between x is equals to 10 and x is equals 10. So this is assigning so the output format here is either true or false. First, x is equals to 10. X is equals to 10. We are performing an action. We are assigning x to 10, right? That's an action. X is equals to 10. The second option here, we are saying, okay, is x is equals to 10? Is x equals to 10? I think it's kind of a question. We are trying to question this way. Is it equals to 10? So the output we are expecting should be, okay, yes or no. If we say x is equals to 10, we are assigning, but x equals 10, then we are trying to compare, okay, is it actually equals to 10? So the response will be, okay, yes or no. So yes or no in Python comes with the value of true or false. So first I say x is equals to 10. Then me myself again, I'm trying to check if x is equals to 10. I want the system to print yes. So again, this is format for writing if statements in Python. I was trying to explain it here. We write if we add the statement x is equals 10, then the column. When we're writing if, please don't forget, on this if box, we can't be assigning x equals 10 on if. Very important. So if it's if, we are trying to compare. So to read more on this, on the documents we created, let me quickly open the section that explains that. Okay. Yes, you can go to this section of the document to read more on how to use if statements in Python. Okay. Also, to read more on comparative operators in Python, we have the list of the comparative operators here. You can check it out and then practice with them. So basically, when you are writing if in Python, this is the format, write the if, the statement, this is statement here. Then you must end it with colon. It's not by choice. It must be there. So after ending it with colon, then you should press at the back of this colon, enter. Note, my cursor is right below if statement. It's wrong. I can't type anything here in Python. I can't say, okay, print yes. Maybe we should try out some errors. Okay, let's see. Here I'm saying x is equals to 10. Then I'm trying to check if x is exactly equals to 10. Then checking this format, I know I should end it with colon. Then after ending it with colon, I now print, okay, if x is equals to 10, if it's true, right? Okay, print yes. Let's see. I think we should be seeing Python errors to boost our morals. Good. Let me change it. I think it's in Markdown. Let me, where is it? Yes. Let me change it to code. Can we also, it says indentation error, expected an indented block after if. I think this is good, right? I need to explain how we should be addressing errors in Python. I think in class, things can be going smoothly, but when we try solving things on our own, I'm sure we'll be running into some errors. So yeah, Python is telling us immediately that we are having indentation error. So whenever we're having this kind of error, just go back to your code. The points where it's pointing to, here it's pointing to print, and there's an arrow right below P, if you can see this error. So it's saying I should put indents before that P. So I'll just come to where P is here in my code. Then I'll type, I'll press tab, just single tab. Please don't, let me Ctrl Z. There are some bad practices in Python. It's okay. I want to put indents. I'm not pressing, okay, let me put, let's say 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is very wrong. Very, very wrong. So the best thing to do, right, is go to right behind the text. Yeah, Python is already telling us that it's before P. So I'll go to here, then just a single click on tab will solve the problem for us. Single click on tab, please. All right, let's see. Okay, now we are not getting any errors. It says if x is equals to 10, and I said, okay, system will now check, is x equals to 10? Now it says yes. So let me change x to 6. So if we should now ask, is x equals to 10? But now the value of x is 6. That's actually no. Then the system will not do anything. Let's see. We don't get any outputs because this condition is not true. X is not equals to 10. Again, I would like to explain the syntax of if statements, and also generally in Python, how we use indents. It's very important. We use it when we are trying to talk about for loop and while loop also. Let me clear this. Copy my X. Another important point to note that is that we said write if the statements and then colon. That statement is being constructed by using comparative operators. Yes. So in Python, I think for you to get it clearly, after writing, I said we should write if. I think that's very easy and clear. The statements, whenever we are trying to create a statement, please, we need to go back to these documents and check the comparative operators because that's what we are going to be using to create a statement. So for the purpose of this class, we'll try out few comparison. So explanation on comparative operators. It's majorly used to compare two or more values. So let's say I have 1 and 2. I'm trying to compare. Is 1 equals to 2? So is 1 equals to 2? To do that in Python, just say 1, then since I'm trying to compare, I'll say is 1 equals to 2. This will just give us like a yes or no answer. This is a yes or no question. It's either yes or it's no. If it's yes, it will return true. If it's false, it will return. If it's no, it will return false. Okay, yeah. The response is false. So we can also say pick another comparative operator. Let's say I'm picking this exclamation mark and equals to this second item. I want to try it out here. So, okay, let me see. Okay, question. I put that there. Take this up. Okay. So 1 not equals 2. This first statement is checking if 1 is equals to 2. Now, this second statement is now checking is 1 not equals to 2. Exclamation marks in Python stands for not. Stands for not. So before we're having equals to, now we're having exclamation mark and equals. Here, exclamation mark stands for not. So this says is 1 not equals to. Is 1 not equals to. Let me say, okay, this is checking. I'm trying to put a comment. So maybe I'll share this document with us. So that's how I'm trying to put comments to explain. Please, Odno, can you hear me?
Absolutely. I can hear you, Jim.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
I think I would like to put this comment at the top. It's quite long. So definitely 1 is not equals to 2, which returns true. So for the purpose of practice, right, we can go to this document and try out some other operators. We can try out greater than, less, is 1 greater than 2, is 1 less than 2. The same way we have it here, we can practice with them. Basically, if we were to compare two values, the result is either true or false. So let me now go back to giving us another example of if statements. So let's say name is equals to James. Let me run this. If from the syntax, if, then we write the variable, if name is exactly equals to James, print correct. So now I'm checking if name is exactly equals to James using this double equals to, then I want to print correct. Let's see. Can someone in the comment section drop what's happening here? I think name is James, and we are trying to check if name is exactly equals to James, which I think James. If anyone on the comment section can tell us why name, which we have assigned to the value of James, is not equals to this James that we wrote here. I think we are slowly getting to the end of the session
So
for today.
they're giving,
Okay. Cool.
yeah, check the comment.
Yes, very correct. Very correct. The answers I'm saying. Python is case sensitive, and it's on this document where we are trying to explain variables. Yeah. So it says variable names are case sensitive. So age, and age are considered different variables. Yes. So that's the reason. So if I should write James that starts with capital letter and another James that's all in lowercase, they are different. So if I want this condition to be true, then this also will start with capital J. Yes, then this condition is now true. So I think we'll continue from here in our next class. So basically what we've achieved today is that we've tried to familiarize ourselves with basic Python operations, how we can create a variable, how we can do basic mathematical operations like addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. Then also how we can add two strings together, how we can create a string variable, how we can change the case, maybe it's in lowercase, uppercase, how we can easily change this to match what we want. Also, we have a quick introduction to writing a statement in Python using if condition. So I will quickly show us practical application of Python on Chi-Squares application, just to see how these basic operations are being able to help to create a larger software application. So let me sorry, trying to start, sorry. Because me as a participant, I'll be wondering, this Python, how can we actually apply it in maybe solving problems? Because the essence of all this is for us to be able to know how to use Python to actually create applications, or maybe use it for data analysis, um, data science, or in data engineering. Sure. So this is a practical example of Python. What it's doing here is it's taking this input. This input, it's coming in string format. Today, we've talked about how to use string data, how to change the case, maybe it's in uppercase, lowercase. Here, the Python function is taking the title here, and maybe now it's generating some aims that are related to these projects. So here are some examples. It says to analyze the challenges faced by Python users in Nigeria and identify potential solutions. So some basic things I want us to take note here is that here, each aims here, they are starting with capital letter, right? This capital T. Majorly, part of the operations we need to do as a developer or as a data analyst is for us to be able to process data and be returning them in a consistent format, whereby we have, let's say this now starts with capital T, then this starts with small t, then that's a problem. So in our code, we need to check that by using maybe the title method of string. And also for every country, it would be nice to have country in uppercase also. So this is a practical example of what we just learned today. So let me add that and let this. For keyword, let me just use Python. I really like that, Python. I'm fine. Big. I want to put create new projects. Skip. So another basic application of Python is used here. I'm trying to create a questions, but I don't have the time and resource to create a question. So I can just come here and use AI Builder. So this AI Builder is also another practical example of Python use case, and it's also majorly dealing with string data. So let's say I wanted to generate 3 questions for me. So it says, use our AI Builder to generate questions for your survey. Select keywords relating to your survey and generate. So here, Python has taken the project title, the aims we supplied, and the keywords. So it's now used these inputs to generate survey questions that are relating to the topic we created. So also, all questions are in proper formatting of strings. I'm not sure if you can see that here. Let me expand. So what is the most common use case for Python? Wow, that's nice. This has been generated by artificial intelligence. Also, another use case for Python, there are more use cases, but we are just starting with it. So I think before we end this session, I want everybody to be able to at least work on a simple Python project. We will all be able to achieve that together. So let me add this, import questions. Yes, Python has easily helped us to generate questions that are relevant to our topic. Here it says, what is the most common use case for Python? Which industry utilize Python the most? What are the advantages of using Python? Wow. Python can really do a lot of things. A lot. Okay. Let me launch this survey. I'll share it. So if there's any question, please let's start asking them so we can quickly round up. I'll share the survey to everyone to take. But if there's question, we can start with that. Why I create this and share.
Mujib,
Yes.
can you hear me? Yeah,
Yes, I can.
so there, yeah, there are some questions there. So I think the question is just related to the conditional operators. So like what does the hand represent? So I think you just have to share that part again. Those operators that you actually highlighted during the section. If you can go back again and explain each and every one of them.
All right. So not to make things overcomplicated for today's class, we only discuss about using equals sign and then not equals sign. So maybe in our next class, we can discuss that.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, sure. Yeah, the site link will be shared. Yeah, for us to access it. Thank you.
So I'll be dropping this survey so you can help me take it. Yeah, drop the link to take the survey to see how we are able to use Python in not only Python, but Python plays an important role in creating that.
So,
So if
Mujib,
there's any other,
yeah, there's a question here. So, Okun said that I have noticed that in the if and else statement, the instructions or outputs are all in initial capitals. So, yeah, it's initially capitalized. So, he's asking that why? Why is it so?
so there is no rules that says it should start with capital letter. Just from just what I decide to do today. Tomorrow I might decide to do something else. So it's just based on choice. I think um if I'm right, this is where you're asking about where I'm saying print correct.
Yes.
It's based on choice. The only thing important here is that this if statement, you can't decide to say, okay, me, I'm kind of big. I don't want to be using small I for if. I want to be using big. Okay, if name, Omo, error go joke. Yes. So this is just the only thing that's kind of important. If writing if, it must be like this. So I think that answered that question. It's based on choice. I can decide to change it.
So, yeah, so there's a complaint about the notebook not showing that line numbers. Is there a way you can illustrate how to activate that?
Notebook not showing line number. Um, I'm not sure if anyone has used Notepad or yeah, yes, notes application on maybe phone or um system. So notes notebook is not like a actual code editor where we have line numbers and all. So here it's just like we use cell. So you can see cell 51, cell 52, cell 53. So we don't use line number in Jupyter Notebook. If we are on another code editor, then we can have line number. So here it's cells. So you can say, okay, I'm going to sell so number.
Yeah, thank you, Mujib. Mujib, can you go back to the main platform, our platform, and actually show them how they can actually utilize it to download the study report?
All right. Another exciting application of Python. Before I don't want to expose that today, but based on requirements. So yeah, Python can take the survey data. Let me reload and see if we have response. Yes. So Python can take the input of this survey. We have 46 respondents, then generates a methodology report about this survey. So the methodology report is kind of a report that give a basic overview of what this survey is about, where we have the background being generated automatically, the survey instruments, the number of questions, and all. So let me quickly open it. So I will download. Yes, you can see the title of the survey says survey on Python use cases. Don't mind my title. So we have the study background. Yeah, it says the use of Python in various settings. We have the open date, close date. It says the study was of cross-sectional design. Then we have study participants. It says we have 43 individuals who have taken the survey. It says here, survey administration. The data were collected using Chi-Squares platform. Then questionnaire, we only have 3 questions on the survey. And also, another great application of Python here is the analysis reports. Python automatically generates the analysis report of how the response are coming in. So also, before the end of our session, will show us how we can actually collect data and then analyze data. It's part of the major aims of this webinar, to teach how to collect data and actually perform analysis on it. So here, the system automatically generates analysis reports. So mostly now I can see that most people choose data analysis as the common use case for Python. So I can see a nice graph that shows that I didn't do this manually. Okay. What industries utilize Python the most? Can see the analysis and a graph. So before the end of the webinar, as I've said before, we'll be able to practicalize on how to actually analyze data in our class. Um, Although you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So we have some people actually raising their hands. So Abia, please, can you ask your question? Is it Beya? Sorry for the mispronunciation. You can unmute yourself, please.
Yes, so it was just a question. I actually computed as per instruction, but unfortunately I didn't see the response. So but I think someone has answered me already. So I'm going through the instruction and then see if it works. Unless maybe you want to see
Okay.
this.
No problem. Since someone has provided the solution, then you can go through it and get back to us. Thank you. So, Glory, hi, Glory, can you ask the question, please?
Yes, thank you very much. Please, the bitwise operator, I don't know what you use, that and operator. I don't know what you use. I'm trying to get that and that's why I'm having confusion.
So, Mujib, can you answer that?
We only used equals sign and then not equals sign. Those two for today. But you can go through these documents for other comparison operators that we have. Most probably in our next class, we'll start from there also. Or if I see you guys are now great Python developers, we can actually move to something else. But that's I'll be happy if by next class we can I'll play. We'll go
Yeah,
through it
thank
next
you, Mujib.
class.
Thank you. So, any other question?
Oh, why you did that? Let me stop sharing with you. People are now shaming me. Oh, good.
What happened to your light?